Dame una señal para pegarme. Dame una razón para acercarme a ti. Sabes que no puedo aguantarme. Yo pierdo el control cuando me miras así. Desde que yo te vi, solo pienso en tocarte. Si me dices que sí, yo no lo voy a pensar. Desde que yo te vi, solo quiero besarte. Si me dices que sí, una noche nada más. Yo solamente quiero una oportunidad. Si puedo hacerte mía, yo no miro por nada. Si después no me llamas, baby, no pasa nada. Regálame una noche nada más. Yo solamente quiero una oportunidad. Si puedo hacerte mía, yo no pido más nada. Si después no me llamas, baby, no pasa nada. Dame direcciones, pa' pegarme a ti me sobran razones. Ya no hay tiempo, no me quedan opciones. Tengo que pegarte varias canciones. Pues mami, toma pa' que te enamores. Deja que mi beso todo decore. Ahora no me sale por rumores. Si tú misma pusiste las condiciones, que ahí no está solamente esto un día. Mamá, estás activo. Si no te vi, se me pone agresivo. Te lo dije que tú ibas a ser mía. Regálame una noche nada más. Yo solamente quiero una oportunidad. Si puedo hacerte mía, yo no pido más nada. Si después no me llamas, baby, no pasa nada. No me dejes así, yo solo quiero intentar estar cerquita de ti, baby, déjate llevar. No me dejes así, yo solo quiero intentar estar cerquita de ti, baby, déjate llevar. No me dejes con las ganas de besarte hasta por la mañana, así cálate y escápate por la ventana. Invita a tu amiga, invita a tu hermana, alócate antes salgamos en primera plana. Mucha calle pero fina, la piel de gallina cuando le beso el cuello en la esquina. Tú sabes quién yo soy, tú sabes lo que doy, tú conoces la guarida, tú sabes dónde estoy. Desde que yo te vi, solo pienso en tentarte. Si me dices que sí, yo no lo voy a pensar. Desde que yo te vi, solo quiero besarte. Si me dices que sí, regálame una noche nada más. Yo solamente quiero una oportunidad. Si puedo hacerte mía, yo no pido más nada. Si después no me llamas, baby, no pasa nada. I don't care when I pick up, that's all turn up. Blacked out, blacked out, ya no le gusta Weezy, está Weezy. Volví a robar, I want you die. Otros niveles musicales.
Legend has it that a barrel touched by fire inspired the rich, smooth taste of Jameson Black Barrel. Taste. That's why.
Yo sé que tú quieres dormir hoy en mi cama. No te dejes sola, tú me llamas. Con él te la pasas peleando. Quien no tiene ni idea que conmigo te queda ronca gritando. Baby, apaga el celular, te voy a buscar a las 12. Si tu hombre no coge, dile que está mal, que tú no me conoces. Al mundo somos amigos, pero en la cama enemigos. Cuando te dejas sola, tú te vuelves loca por estar conmigo. Baby, apaga el celular, te voy a buscar a las 12. Si tu hombre no coge, dile que está mal, que tú no me conoces. Al mundo somos amigos, pero en la cama enemigos. Cuando él te deja sola, tú te vuelves loca por estar conmigo. Lo tuyo es un idiota, en la cama ya no te da nota. A este bicho le dicen my weather, porque te invito y sin una derrota. Dile que conmigo tú sota, que se esté tranquilo, que se busque a otra. Él es como la manzana de Apple, está mordido y eso se nota. Baby, tú eres como el pan, porque me has dado ese culo 2 veces. Tu novio parece un sartén y no te lo metes como tú mereces. Pichea las estupideces porque de rodillas y no es pa' que reces. Y dile a tu novio que evite si no quieres que la calo enderece. Yo voy a darte pa' que toda la vida te acuerdes de mí. Tú sueñas conmigo, despierta desde el primer día que te di. No importa la hora, cuando estés conmigo lo ignoras. Lo más que me gusta de ti es que de mí tú no te enamoras. Bad Bunny, baby, viste pa' casi le picho al cine. Me lo mamo hasta que me vine. Llenamos del hechizo todos los cojines. Perfumarte bien y te
Get my boot, my bike up. Fuck.
Con otro Billy, bebé, antes que esto se termine. Vamos a hacerlo otra vez. ¿Qué pasó? Fue que yo vine. Que yo tenía cara que trabaja en Forever 21. Los siglos de la comedia como el de Juan. Dile que yo ando con el lightsaber como Obi-Wan. Tony Montana enseñándose el vida. Ya despierta creando mentiras. Conmigo lo haces semanal. Contigo el contento le expira. Baby, apaga el celular, te voy a buscar a las 12. Si tu hombre no coge, dile que está mal, que tú no me conoces. Al mundo somos amigos, pero en la cama enemigos. Si te dejas sola, tú te vuelves loca por estar conmigo. Baby, apaga el celular, te voy a buscar a las 12. Si tu hombre no coge, dile que está mal, que tú no me conoces. Al mundo somos amigos, pero en la cama enemigos. Cuando él te deja sola, tú te vuelves loca por estar conmigo.
Antes de buscarte, así te duró toda la noche. Antes de que vaya a entregarte, llamé y él contestó. Yo pregunto por otra. Dile que te vas con tu amiga, baby. Dile que la noche es de nosotras, ma. Mientras él trabaja, la trabajo a ella. Al mediodía la secuestro. No se mueve porque nada le demuestro. Siempre repito, nadie sabe de lo nuestro. Pero es mi plato principal, pero mami, paso la lengua como pasa los tsunamis. Yo quiero que duermas en mi cami. Si es porque andar abajo, yo bajo y me gano un Grammy. Dile que tú eres una swinger, que te gusta que te haga un bigote como el de las Pringles. Que bellaqueo son tus jingles, así que apaga el celular que estoy llegando con el finger. Yo te lo meto mientras él quiere cantar. Yo te lo dije, baby, que te va a encantar. Dile que meta mano que no se puede quitar y que se ande porque el polvo vino me lo va a espantar.
Yo sé que tú quieres dormir hoy en mi cama. Cuando te dejes sola tú me llamas. Vete la plaza peleando. No tienes ni idea que conmigo te quedaron gritando. Noriel.
Dímelo, Noriel. The Game Changer, Almighty.
Dímelo, Almighty.
Esta es la sangre nueva.
Bad Bunny, baby.
La nación más poderosa que ha salido en todos estos años.
Santana. Golden Boy.
Esos que nunca fallan, lo dice.
Hear this music.
Nosotros somos de oro, cabrones. Pero no llegan ni a plata. Díselo, Luyan. Jay Anton. Dímelo, Ganda. Tracapo.
Nick, come check this out.
Let's check it out. Oh my goodness. I got one for you. Hasta la vuelta, ¿viste, cabrón? Mira, ahí, bájame el volumen que me escucho intencionado.
Force Mutual. How can sure.
Andamos fugados y estos cabrones a mí no me van a coger. Casi la nena le hecho arrebatado. De pasajero tengo la media 16. Tienes que salir endemoniado. Si es que me falta mes, se la va a coger. Porque para la discoteca entramos al mar. Con las tensiones como si fuese mujer. Todo el mundo haciendo el baile del dinero. Maleante las mujeres y las coras. Que se la mano antes que está haciendo dinero. Ahora estamos arriba, ya no estamos en cero. La me dicho que puñeta eres tú. Yo tengo una 45 pipas de actitud. Caliche no te atrevas a pisarme la cama blue. Aquí se fuma creepy, patea como Kung Fu. La quiere que la azote. Cabrón, y así tú quieres ser bichote. Yo quiero un soplapote. Y Shaquilla rumba le quito un rebote. Hasta el respeto de mis enemigos yo me lo gané. Me lo di para los míos, lo tuyo por regalar. Una emisora que a ti te hizo tu disquera. Mi rifle canta guaira, voltar en mera. El mejor trapero vivo, y chambea que doy tiro. Si me muero queda orfano, cabrón, tú eres mi hijo. Las llenas siempre roncan con el león, están hablados. Y por la probatoria tengo a mis demonios amarrados. Todo el mundo haciendo el baile del dinero. Maleante las mujeres y las coras. Que se la mano antes que esté haciendo dinero. Ahora estamos arriba, ya no estamos en cero. La me dice que puñeta eres tú. Mi historia es notoria y pa' mi muerto no falla una dedicatoria. Cabrón, dice el trato y lo cantas por mil, bicho, no tienes memoria. Yo sé que tú me odias, mi mamá me dijo yo estamos en victoria. Estoy hablando con tu y vi en el jet y saca la gloria. Por real hasta la muerte en el Google App, todas las letras en cap. En Puerto Rico sí, el jet del tren, en España me dicen a no estar un crack. Que ninguno de ustedes tiene los cojones para tener todos mis problemas. Y si la música fuera un deporte, fuera la envidia y mi cara el emblema. Yo soy un maleteando con maleante, pero la humildad de verdad. Y yo soy 27 y perdimos la tapia, pero sigue la lealtad. Y mi código de jodedor me dice que ustedes pa' mí tienen maldad. Por eso amo la calle y mi sueño es hacer en PR un tratado de paz. ¿Quién creó el trap? Anuel. ¿Quién lo hizo mundial? Anuel. Cabrón, se te olvidó. Yo soy Eminem y tú 50 Cent. Si me muero, entiérrame con mi pistola en la tumba. Yo vendo la música que escuchan los nacos cuando los kilos los zumban. Todo el mundo haciendo el baile. Los manos de las mujeres y las coro. Que se la mano antes que está haciendo dinero. Y ahora estamos arriba, ya no estamos en cero. Todo el mundo haciendo el baile del dinero. Los manos de las mujeres y las coro. Que se la mano antes que está haciendo dinero. Y ahora estamos arriba, ya no estamos en cero. Para mí un tema que nadie sabe que no hacer compra, papi, es cargar los paquetes. Tú sabes. La roncadera esa tuya lo que da vergüenza, hermano. Tú sabes cuando me salga los conos te tocamos la puerta y te vas a mear encima. No es lo mismo que tú hagas 100 millones y que tu jefe se te quede con todo el dinero y te tire con 3 ahí para que te cure. La diferencia es que hago los 100 millones y son míos. Yo soy el jefe, yo no tengo jefe. Mira, dime, Fabián, regaste la muerte ahorita, cabrón. Era chino. Que recuerde que la calle en Puerto Rico camina conmigo, no con él. Gaby Music. Dando con el único marciano sobre la faz de la tierra. Chris J.I. El dios del trap. Amén.
Bebé, quédate un ratito más. Enséñame cada luna de tu piel. Que tan atrevida tú puedes ser. Yo quiero ver, solo quiero ver cómo será el desnudarte. Quiero ser el dueño de tu parte. Encima tú vas a moverte hasta dejarme cubierto de ti. Quédate conmigo que ya es tarde. Además del sexo quiero amarte. De tu fluido voy a moverme hasta quedarme cubierto de ti. Hasta quedarme cubierto de ti. Hasta quedarme cubierto de ti.
Tú lo que quieres es que te coman todas, que mientras lo hacemos, escuchemos todas. Te jalo el pelo, te muerdo la boca, te gusta que te hablen malo porque te pones loca, bebé. Tú tienes un cuerpo de modelo, te lo meto y llegamos al cielo, Tienes novio, pero no te celo. Si supieras que contigo muero, y hacemos las 50 sombras. Me gusta la fama, como tú me nombras. Él no sabe lo que tú y yo hacemos, como en la cama, tú y yo nos comemos. Y hacemos las 50 sombras. Me gusta la cama, como tú me nombras. Él no sabe lo que tú y yo hacemos, como en la cama, tú y yo nos comemos.
¿Cómo será el desnudarte?
Hola, Pepe.
Quiero ser el dueño de tu parte. Encima tú vas a moverte hasta dejarme cubierto de ti. Quédate conmigo que ya es tarde. Además del sexo quiero amarte. De tu fluido voy a moverme hasta quedarme cubierto de ti. Hasta quedarme cubierto de ti. Hasta quedarme cubierto de ti. En la cama Gucci, viendo TV, pa' calentar tu pussy, en un kiss. Hubo daños de agua en el sillón. Le puse nombre a mi lengua, se llama Poseidón. Ay, solo creo we benefit. Ya estoy super saiyan trip, sin quitarme el agua y tri, cargándole encima la di. Yo no me quité hasta que se vino. En la esquina de la cama mi nena perdió. Todo lo que me faltó para hacerte, jalarte por el pelo y los labios morderte. Vine al mundo para complacerte. Todavía no te vas, que ya quiero volver a tenerte. ¿Cómo será el desnudarte? Quiero ser el dueño de tu parte. Encima tú vas a moverte hasta dejarme cubierto de ti. Quédate conmigo que ya es tarde. Además del sexo quiero amarte. De tu fluido voy a moverme hasta quedarme cubierto de ti.
Let's get it. Este es nuestro break para salir del hoyo.
Cuidado con los tiburones.
Bravo.
Manuel era
No
fucking
solo veo
esto.
en tu cara, no te comportes conmigo, puedes ser mala. Seré tuyo por esta noche. Te soltarás antes que desabroche el cinturón. Dime qué posiciones tú quieres. Sé que tienes novio, pero a mí el que me prefiere. Seré tuyo por esta noche. Prepárate, bebé, porque hoy yo quiero comerte toda. Darte las a medias, yo te beso toda. Quédate conmigo y las picheo a todas. Como tú ninguna, tú le ganas todas. Por eso, bebé, yo quiero comerte toda. Entre las a medias, yo te beso toda. Quédate conmigo y las picheo a todas. Él te tiene seca, yo te mojo toda. Yo te mojo toda, bebé. Todo el mundo te quiere porque como tú ninguna. Y yo por ti saco hasta poder y te bajo la luna. Hay muchas mujeres, la vida es solo una. Y solo dime que...
Sorry about that. The music was kind of loud.
That would have been okay, right?
No.
How's it going?
I'm feeling better now without being on the medicine. My medicine's wearing off a little bit.
Nurse told you to quit taking it?
She said I could, yeah, because they're going to try to give me a different medicine.
Okay. Who's your doctor? Oh, Jerzak.
Jerzak, yeah, but she's not in until Monday, so they're going to try to get a different doctor to do it for me.
Oh, okay. Well, you know,
Get kicked out.
look, it's too bad this medicine didn't work out, but you handle it the right way.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, like unusual. It's not like, oh, that medicine didn't work. Oh, that never happens. No. It's not like that either. It's
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about that. You can just move it. It's cool.
okay. That's why if you Google medications for depression, you're
There's a
going
lot,
to see,
yeah.
you know, all kinds. And that's why.
Well, I was on Prozac and then something else. So I told them the truth that I never took the medicine, so I was honest with them about it. And I told them that I talked to my caseworker about it, and he told me that I should be upfront with you guys and let you guys know that I never took the medicine, and that might help me.
You always got to be honest. How are people going
I told them I was scared because you know what I told you. So they it's okay, we understand, we should be honest about it now. So maybe then that's probably why she wouldn't put you on this medicine. She could have gave you the Prozac and stuff. So they're going to see if they want to put me on the pills I was on before.
Right.
But if not, they're going to do something different.
That's exactly what I told you.
Yes.
If you get
That's why I
prescribed the
listened to you.
medicine,
That's why I listened.
right, okay. So see, then she told you exactly what I said.
Yes.
Oh, we would have tried you on that if...
Yeah, she
if
would never
we
put me
would've
on
known.
these. They put me on these because they thought the other medicine wasn't working, like you said.
Right.
So you were right.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, miracles do happen. I was
Yeah.
right. Can you imagine that? Well, that's the first time this year. Thank God I got that one right, being right in. Year's almost over. I was cutting it close. 11 and a half months into the year, I'm finally right about something.
Oh, why you always wrong about stuff?
Oh yeah, but usually once a year I'm right.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting nervous that it might not happen this year.
Well,
There you go. I got my one time in. Oh boy.
But no, she said the exact same thing how you said it, but you explained it more better than she did. But yeah, she pretty much said the same thing what you said.
Right. So that's the thing with it.
You got more into the detail about the medicine. She really didn't do it.
Right. I understand that, but that's why I go into detail.
Yes.
Because, like I always tell you, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you information so you can make your own decisions.
Yes. And
that's why I go into detail.
Yes. It worked out.
It did work out. See? And here's my closing parting thought on that.
Okay.
What I'm going to ask you to keep in mind.
Okay.
And this has a lot to do with what we've been talking about with healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships. Are there more bad people in the world than good people in the world? That's why I bring up these kind of things. Because what I'm trying to get you to do is look at yourself, in terms of better understanding oh, this gets referred to as someone's world view.
Yes.
World view means how do you see the world around you?
Mhm.
Okay? So world view, the way you get to someone's world view, if you were a psychologist and wondering about how someone sees the world, that's why I ask questions like, do you think there's more good people in the world than bad?
I said bad, but
Yeah.
it turned out to be good.
But the reason why, because once you get to understand what your worldview is, because worldview means,
You don't mind if I eat, right?
No, go ahead.
All right. I didn't want to be rude.
Have, you know, crack open that bottle of Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah, it's already open.
You know, yeah, live it up. But listen, the reason why I ask questions like that, do you think there's more good people in the world than bad? Do you think people are trustworthy or not trustworthy? Is because, you know, what does my opinion about there's more good people in the world than bad have to do with anything? It has to do with what you just saw.
Yeah.
I'm going to hide information from doctors. Well, why would you do that? Because I can't trust them.
That's true. And
Okay.
I did it. You told me.
Right. But now, see, I'm the opposite. I tell doctors everything, you know, because my worldview is I trust people. I believe there's way more good people in the world than bad.
Okay.
Now, for me, because I do a lot of reading and research on this, I know that I happen to be right in terms of, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But worldview isn't necessarily what people think is right or wrong. It's just this philosophy they have, this opinion of what they have.
Okay.
Okay? But people sometimes, because it's their, well, you know, there's way more bad people in the world than good. Where's your information? Where's your data? Where's your proof of that? Oh, believe me, I just know. You just know.
See, I say
How
there's
do
more
you
bad
just know?
people because I say that because people have been treating me ignorantly
Right.
and badly, and I have nothing but been nice and kind to these people,
And here's
even
the,
family.
and here's the thing. You can be right and still be wrong.
Mhm.
I mean, you're right in the sense of what your experience is, you are absolutely right. We can line up people from your front door all the way down the street. Line them all up and bring them in here one at a time, and they're all going to say, yeah, Elizabeth, you've been treated bad by the people that you have been surrounded by.
Yeah.
None going to disagree with that. That you are correct about.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about worldview. A lot of people will take their personal life experience
Mhm.
and from that develop this worldview. Most people have treated me bad in my life, therefore most people are bad.
Okay.
Well, that's not true.
Nope.
Okay?
You told me that. Yep.
I mean, if I grew up in a really, really, really sophisticated neighborhood
Mhm.
where everybody was rich and everybody lived in great houses, I would think, well, most people are very rich and live in great houses.
Yeah.
Well,
Not everybody does. No.
right, but that's what I experienced, so that's what I think.
Yeah.
And if that's what I think, does that make me right?
To what you think? Yeah.
Yeah, to what I think. But does that make me right in terms of people around the world?
No.
Exactly. Okay, so, but my worldview may come from that. Or, well, you know, all these people got money because they work hard. So that, my worldview is, the only reason why these people don't have nice houses is because they don't work hard.
Nope.
They're lazy.
Yep.
They're all lazy. That becomes my worldview. Now, do I have information? Do I have data? Have I interviewed all these people? No. But you know, that's what I see, and from what I see, I make assumptions, and those assumptions turn into what in my mind are facts.
Yeah.
I know this guy, he works an attorney, he works 50 hours a week. That person, you know, he's a doctor, he works 60 hours a week. See, if you work 50, 60 hours a week, you'll live in these great big houses.
Yep. And you get paid a lot too. Be
You get
doctor,
paid a
lawyer.
lot, and if you live in a bad house, you know, it's because you're lazy. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. What makes someone a hard worker? Well, they work 50, 60 hours a week. This person's struggling in this, you know, small house raising 3 kids as a single mom. she's working 3 jobs, she's working 70 hours a week. That's not working hard?
That's working hard.
That's working real hard.
Yes.
But she
Providing
doesn't
for
live
her
in a nice
children.
house, I don't understand.
That's true, yes.
See what I mean? So our worldview means this is the way we think the world operates.
Yeah.
But just because we think it doesn't make it fact. I told you this before.
Like a
Some people
feeling.
Don't believe everything you think.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you think, well, you can't trust doctors. Don't believe everything you think. What do you mean you can't trust doctors? So you're going from, well, these people I grew up with, and these people I had friendships with, this doctor is no different from them.
I don't know, I just don't trust anybody.
Exactly.
Well, except for
Because-
one person, I trust Al.
Okay.
That's the only one because I've known him for a long time.
Okay. But that's my point. You grow up and you have a certain amount of lived experience,
Yeah.
and then from that you make these big generalizations. Generalizations means, well, you start thinking that's the way everybody is. And it's really interesting. You know how many people live on this planet?
Billions, I guess?
4 billion.
Okay. I knew it was in the billions, but I didn't know how much.
That's a good answer. About 4 billion people.
Okay.
How many of those 4 billion people have you known?
Not probably a couple hundred.
Yeah, far from 4 billion.
Yeah, way far.
Yeah. So, but the worldview means based on these couple of hundred, if it was even that many.
Yeah, it might not even be that
When
much.
I say couple hundred, you've known a couple hundred people well. How many
Not
people
well.
have you known really well?
Really well?
Really well. Really well to where you would consider yourself a very fair judge of their
You mean like
character.
family and stuff, or no?
People that you could be a fair judge of their character.
Mm. Well, there's my family.
How many people?
That's 1, 2, 3. 3 extras a day. You, Neil, Woody. And then if you count Ethel or Shelley,
That's
they're
8.
part family. My mom
9,
and my kids.
10, 11.
Oh no, I have more than that.
How many of them do you know well?
Oh well, no, I don't know them all well.
That's what I'm
now.
asking. How many
Oh, okay,
people
well
do
I
you
don't know
know
them well. Okay,
well?
alright. Who else? Oh, Al. So like 10.
10.
10, yeah, probably, oh, well, 11, my best friend.
Okay, so you
So
know
11.
11 people pretty well.
Pretty much, yeah.
11 people out of 4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot.
No, it ain't.
That is not a good, if you're a researcher, that is not a good sample size.
No, it ain't. I mean, no.
So knowing
My circle's limit.
yeah, knowing 11 people out of 4 billion, no offense, Elizabeth, but that doesn't put you in position to judge
People.
the other 4 billion minus 11.
Yeah.
And you know what? Me neither. I mean, I don't know all 4 billion people, but here's the thing. Remember I told you, don't take my word for it, do your own little social psychology experiment. And that's when I said, stand across the street from an ATM machine where people come, put their card in, take out cash. I do that all the time. I don't like paying with cards.
Okay.
Okay, I know some people. My son is like that. Every time he goes to the store, he spends $3 at the store. Boom, gives him his debit card.
Yeah, I don't do that all the time either.
The only time I do that is if I'm shopping online, or if I'm like get my car repaired and it's like $300. Okay, here, just use my card, take it right out of my account.
Well,
Because I don't want to go back to my, house and have to write down $3 here, $2.50 there. Oh yeah, I spent $6.71 for lunch. Write that down. I go to the ATM machine. At the beginning of the week, I take out cash, and when I go to buy lunch, when I go to the grocery store, I pay cash. And when the 200's gone, that's how much I take out. Then I go get another 200.
Yep.
That way, I don't have to keep track on paper, so I know how much money's still in my account.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do one subtraction than multiple. Right. Okay. Anyways, go to an ATM machine, stand across the street, because you don't want anyone, thinking funny about you, but stand across the
Yeah, so
street.
they don't think you're stalking them
Yeah.
for money.
Stand there for say a couple hours. Watch how many people come up. Take money out of the ATM machine. You can clearly see they have cash. Watch them take the money out. Watch them walk away, and nothing happens to them.
Not true.
Nobody's robbing them. Nobody's saying, "Give me your money." No one's saying, "Hey, I need that money more than you," or whatever. They all walk away. Nobody bothers them.
Mhm.
Okay? What does that tell you? Well, if there were more bad people in the world than good, number one, first of all, you'd see people getting robbed.
Not really. In the past I did once.
Once.
And then my son.
No, what I'm
then
saying is,
a couple years ago, my son.
see,
did.
what I'm saying is, if it was true that there were more people in the world than bad, if you were standing across the street from that ATM for 2 hours,
Power
you
on.
would be seeing people get robbed left and right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But you don't.
No,
And in fact, I'll even go one step further.
I saw someone get stabbed downtown.
How many times? Once, right. How many times have you been downtown?
Oh, I quit going down there.
How many
I used to
times?
hang down there a lot.
Okay, so more than
thought-
100 times?
Because I kept on witnessing shit, and people always tell, oh yeah, they call the cops, they're like, oh yeah, she was a witness. I'm like, no, I'm not, don't put me in that shit.
Alright. But the fact is,
So I don't go down there no more.
but if you stand outside, across the street from an ATM machine, you can see people coming and going, taking money out all for the entire 2 hours. No one's getting caught. No one's getting, mugged by anybody.
No.
Even though they clearly have cash in hand, they're all being left alone. Because people respect that. And,
I be seeing that when I'm downtown.
what's that?
I be seeing that when I used to be downtown. They used to go to the Mac machine, take money out, and then
What you call it?
downtown. What?
What kind of machine?
Mac machine.
You know what? I always called a Mac machine, and my kids make fun of me. Mac machine? What's that? No, where you get the money? That's not a Mac machine, Dad. Oh, you're so out of it. That's an ATM machine. All right, whatever.
Oh, I call it a Mac machine.
I know, me too. I always call it. In fact, I started saying Mac machine and I said ATM.
I know you can say Mac machine. I say it all the time.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because they always make fun of me whenever I slip and call it a Mac machine.
No, I call it a Mac machine too.
All right, well, so do I. Good. That makes two of us. But anyways, but here's the thing. Would banks even have Mac machines if they had to worry about people getting robbed?
Exactly.
Exactly. So, when you think about it, when you really think about it, I mean, just using even a little bit of logic, it's like, well, yeah, look at all these things we do to prove people basically are willing to get along.
Yep.
People go to Mac machines and they're not bothered. People, walk out of the grocery stores loaded with groceries, they're not bothered. They go to their car, they unlock their car, they're putting the groceries in their car. Nobody's coming up to them saying, hey, give me the keys to your car, it's mine now. I mean, you don't see stuff like that. It never.
Well, you see, I see bums hit people up for money.
That's different.
That's different.
They're asking for money.
Yeah, they're not begging.
They're-
Like begging.
They may even be begging for money, but they're not demanding money.
Exactly.
Okay? That's
They're not
different.
putting a gun to their head and giving you all your money and shit.
Even though they need it, even though they would really like it, they're asking, they're not demanding.
Yeah.
Because they know, well, that would be wrong. So when you think about all these little anecdotes, meaning these little examples, it's like, now it really starts to add up. You know what? If there were more bad people in the world than good, this world would look very, very different.
Yes.
We wouldn't be able to. How could I possibly drive home from here if I had to worry about, if I was driving too slow for the person behind me, they're going to take a gun out and shoot me.
That's true.
I mean,
There's road rage, but I've
In the
never
Wild,
really heard
Wild
anybody
West.
really try to kill somebody.
right in
For
the
it.
wild, wild west. It's like I watch Bonanza. People walking around with guns. Hey, you looking at me? Yeah, I'm looking at you. Fine. Boom, they shoot each other. It's like, wow, that's really crazy. But you don't see that. That's a TV show.
Yeah, that's a Wild Wild West show, yeah.
And that's why it's called the Wild Wild West. These guys are not only wild, they're wild. I mean, they're beyond
Yeah,
wild.
I've seen a little bit wild. I saw Western movies a little bit.
All
My
right.
mom used to get me into it.
So anyways, the reason why I talk about worldview, the reason why it's important to be aware of that is is look how it affects small, seemingly small but very important decisions like, should I trust this doctor who I'm asking to prescribe me medication?
Yes. She's really decent. The doctor's nice. I like her. She seems pretty cool. I mean, I don't know too much about her, but I mean, she seems pretty cool. She acts like she cares that she wants to help me get better.
And here's the thing. I told you about this.
I just didn't trust her to tell her things.
And again, that's your worldview. You know, I think I told you about when I was running that training class for people who want to be peer support workers, and we were having that conversation.
Yeah, you told me that.
When you meet someone for the first time, I mean, do you start out trusting them until they prove otherwise? Or do you start out not trusting them until they prove otherwise?
Well, before I was really starting to get hurt by people, I used to trust people right away. You know, like like the first or the second time I meet them,
Mm-hmm.
I used to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they're like professionals. They're supposed to be trustworthy.
Right?
But now, I don't see it that way.
Why not? What changed your mind?
Too many people hurt me.
Professionals?
Some professionals and
Like who?
the people that worked with my kids. Like CYF and agencies that was working with them, they set me up to get my kids taken from me.
Okay.
So I don't really trust professional people as much.
Yeah.
Either.
Well, but again,
You don't mind if I smoke?
no.
Okay.
CYF workers. Here's how many professional people there are.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. How many CYF workers are out of those professionals?
Probably half.
No. CYF workers making up half of professionals?
No,
Doctors,
no,
nurses,
like,
therapists, dentists.
no, like half of the thing, like we're here.
Like that.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
like
Lesser than a half.
0.1%.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
And since you brought up CYF, because I used to work for about I don't know, let's say 12 years, maybe longer. I've always had a full-time job.
Okay.
But there was a period of time when I was looking to make some extra dough. I would work part-time as a therapist.
Okay.
After hours, schedule my own appointments, part-time, And for a while, for a few years there, Elizabeth, I was doing that. Well, actually, a couple of years. Well, maybe about 3 years. I was working as a family counselor.
Okay.
Not for CYF, but there was these two different agencies that I worked for, but they took referrals from CYF.
Okay.
And they probably would have worked with a lot of people like you. Parents who are either, if you don't do this family counseling, we're gonna take your kids from you, or families who, like parents, moms and or dads and or moms, if you want your kids back, we want you to do family counseling. And if they agreed, they would get referred to my agency for that family counseling. So I didn't work with CYF, but I worked with cases who were involved with CYF.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I learned about CYF. With those caseworkers that you don't like,
Yeah.
who's their client?
What do you mean?
Well, when I work with you, who's my client?
Me.
Yes. When CYF works with you, who's their client?
My kids?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not working in your best interest necessarily.
Yeah, for the kids.
They're working in not only what they believe are the kids' best interests, but behind every CYF worker, there's a judge.
Yeah, see.
Family court. They're the ones who ultimately call the shots.
Yeah, see, when I lost my kids, my 6 kids, through CYF, no judge would remove them. Because, I don't know if you know Dr. Rosenblum.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Rosenblum recommended the kids stay with the parents, and the parents stay with the kids. Because they didn't see anything was wrong with them besides having trouble in school.
Okay.
And then they found out that the father was abusing them. That's when it got really out of hand.
Right.
But before that, no judge in the world was removing my kids.
Right.
We've seen a lot of judges, and none of them wouldn't do it.
That is always their number one priority. Don't split families apart.
Yes.
Unlike what Trump was doing at the Mexican-Texas border, you never, when it could be at all avoided, you always keep families intact. That's why CYF would pay my agency to pay me to go in and do this family counseling. It was called either family preservation,
Yeah.
keeping the kids with the family, or reunification.
Yeah. Separate them with other people.
No. Reunification meant the kids were temporarily removed,
Yeah,
but the goal was to reunify,
reunite.
bring the kids back to the family.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what
Because-
you're talking about.
Yeah. So the goal was always, the priority was always,
Staying with the family.
kids should be with their parents, the parents should stay with kids.
Yes.
Unless there was a reason not to do that.
But see, they didn't have an actual judge. My judge, she was out of town, and she postponed the hearing for a different day until she got back, and because she had an emergency.
Mhm.
And so the CY people they didn't want to wait, so they did an emergency hearing, and they had the judge on the south side to pretend to be, he was a hearing officer,
Right.
to go downtown to pretend to be a judge, and they got him to remove my kid.
Well, he's not pretending to be a judge. He's the acting authority.
Well,
Nobody
yeah.
pretends. That's illegal.
Well, that's how I say it, but I know what you
Well,
mean.
but again, if you say pretend, that implies
'Cause he's
there
not
was
really-
some. This was not above board.
Well, he wasn't a real actual judge.
Right. He was acting. He was an acting judge.
Yeah, he wasn't an actual judge, because none of the actual judges was
But he
removing
was
him.
an acting judge with the same authority.
Yeah, and that's when they removed him.
But on what basis?
They removed him because the father was abusing them and me,
Right.
and they didn't think that I could help the kids because I was being abused too.
Right. And here's
I asked my mom if I could stay with her with the kids, and she wouldn't let me do it, and because my brother and my sister don't like me, and they didn't want me to be around my mom.
yeah.
So and then I told her, I said, go. Well, it's gonna be swearing, but I told her to go fuck off, and I hope she dropped dick. And I haven't seen her since.
Yeah,
And then that's when I lost my kid.
Here's the thing, man. No sense in relitigating this, but just so you can relitigating means going through the court process all over again.
Oh no, that's
But,
cool.
but just so you understand, because when I started working on these cases, I always worked in mental health. I was a good counselor. I was good at teaching parenting skills. All the clients I worked with, of all the clients I worked with, I rarely had trouble getting people to agree to meet with me.
Yes.
They met with me, they liked me, they felt that I was helping them. Okay. The CYF system, I was completely brand new to.
Okay.
Okay, I worked at Mercy, Pittsburgh Mercy as a therapist. Actually, I first started doing this part-time work for these CYF cases. And then when that fizzled out, then I went to Mercy and started working as a mobile therapist for Mercy, like Elise.
Yeah.
Remember Elise?
Yes.
I was doing that kind of work for about 5 or 6 years with Mercy.
Okay.
But anyways, when I first started doing this kind of work with this agency that doesn't exist anymore, it's called the Parental Stress Center, I was doing this kind of family counseling. So I was really good. I was a parent myself, really good at parenting skills. I would, like I do with you, print out articles, teach people stuff. I never told them what to do. I would just teach them. They liked that approach. I was very non-judgmental. Look, your goal is to get your kids back. Let me teach you everything I can possibly think of to help you learn how to be a better parent. So you can convince the CYF and the judge that you've learned a lot and you're ready to go. But that's the one thing that there is no bending on.
Nope.
Is that if you have, because I've worked with lots of moms that have abusive boyfriends.
Yeah.
It wasn't the mom that was abusive, it was the boyfriend, the significant other, the father, even if it wasn't a parent to the kid. Like there are a lot of single moms, dad was long gone or whatever,
Mhm.
or maybe the dad was involved but they were divorced, they were separated.
Yeah.
But there was a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you got a boyfriend living here? We got to do a criminal check on him.
Yep.
Right? And if the criminal comes back with that this guy, they're all kids to me. I mean,
And this
because
guy
I'm always older
abused
than him.
kids
But
or
yeah,
anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
does this guy have any kind of, drug offenses, assault offense, any kind of violent crime or drug-related offenses, and certainly any kind of
Abuse.
suspicion of child abuse?
Yeah.
Like, was there some kind of child line called in? Child line is when somebody calls the child line to report suspected child abuse.
Yeah.
Hey man, these people that live next door to me, I think dad's beating the kids because I always see them, with bruises all over.
Yeah.
Oh, child line does an investigation. If that person gets named as a suspect, boom, that's on their permanent record.
Yep, that's true.
So when that shows up, then the CYF worker tells mom, hey, look, I got to tell you something. Either the boyfriend goes or the kids are going to go.
Yep. The boyfriend would have went.
Well, I worked with girls, moms who didn't want to give up the boyfriend, and sometimes it wasn't as bad as it sounds. What I learned from some of them was, if I asked him to leave, he'll kill me.
Yep, that's true. I'd be hearing that too.
He's threatening to kill me. I told him, but if you stay here, I'm going to lose my kids. Too bad. I got no place to go. And don't worry, they're not going to take your kids. Trust me.
Yep.
I'll make sure they don't. Well, who are you, genius? You're gonna somehow throw your body against the door and CYM's gonna back down and not take the kids.
Hell
Just call
no.
the sheriff and come here take those kids.
Hell yeah, they would break that door down.
But these single moms, I mean, they get scared, they get nervous. I mean, they feel like they're trapped between a rock and a hard place. But you know what? If that mom was, and the CYF worker knew that and understood that, and so did the judge, don't matter. If he stays, the kids go.
Yep.
And that's it. Bottom line, period.
That's true.
And what I've heard judges tell moms is, look, again, primary client is the kids.
Yes.
And if you can't guarantee the safety of your kids, I'm going to have to.
Yep.
If you're demonstrating you can't keep that boyfriend out of the house, or that ex out of the house, or your cousin with the criminal history out of the house, if we see you can't do that, sorry, man.
I was trying to get a place to myself with the kids, but they didn't feel they would be safe there because they thought the father would come up in there because he was being very abusive to
Yeah,
children.
and
That's why I lost them.
right. And you know what?
And plus, he didn't do his parenting. He didn't go to domestic classes.
Right.
He didn't do
And-
none of
and here's
that. I
the
did
thing.
all mine, but he didn't.
And see, here's the problem that these judges have. Okay? The problem is, so can you really predict what's going to happen in a situation like that?
No.
Can you predict with total certainty what's going to happen in a situation like that?
No.
No, you can't. So what's the safest thing to do?
To remove them.
Exactly.
That's what they did.
And that's what they always do.
Yep.
Not sometimes.
No, they all
Not if you're
remove them.
unlucky. That's what they always
Unless you got paid money and you're rich and famous, they can pull strings. Some do that.
Well,
I heard
they-
some famous people talking about like that. They were trying to see why they were trying to remove them, but they pulled strings because they had money and they got paid attorneys and shit. They bribed the judges and shit.
No, see, I don't.
I don't know
believe
if that's true or not, but that's what I've been
That
hearing.
is so not true.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been
It
hearing.
is so not true. Look,
People be talking on Facebook about it.
that is so not true. Those are people that are bitter, and it's just like Trump. I got cheated.
Yep.
That's what these people are basically saying. I got cheated. Well, there's these rich people, they hire attorneys, and these attorneys pay off judges, and they get to keep their kids. So they get the system treats them one way, they treat me another. I'm being treated so unfair. You sound like Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Quit crying.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, what happened sad, it's tragic, but it is what it is. I mean, those judges, their number one priority is to keep their kids safe. And the thing is, judges are people too.
Yeah.
Judges have consciences too. Judges have law degrees, they got licenses, okay, to practice law, and they have a code of ethics when they're a judge. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to set a high bar for yourself in terms of your ethical and moral behavior. Okay? Now,
Okay.
let me ask you this.
All right.
If you had to decide on a child's fate, you would take $1,000 from someone and put that kid in a high risk situation,
No,
For
the
$1,000
kids.
bucks?
No, because see,
And then find out later that those kids were severely abused after you took that bribe from the parent, and then the parent turned around and abused that kid?
now see, I care too much about kids. Even they're not mine, I care about them. So no, I would have removed the kids if I was a CYF worker too.
Why does someone become a dentist? Because they like working with people's teeth.
Yes.
Why does someone, become a heart surgeon? Because he wants to, fix people's hearts. Why does someone become a brain surgeon? He wants to fix people's brains. Doctors want to make people well.
No
Okay?
matter how bad I would want family to be together, because to me, family's number one. But see, I don't have that, so mine's down the hill, but down the drain or whatever you want to call it. But see, to me, that's how it is. I always see family. Parents should be with their kids, and kids should be with their parents. I see that all the time. Even if it's not with me, I see that with other people too. Like that's why on these games, like on GTA, there's kids getting bullied by grown people on here, and people be hitting on them. I'd be sticking up for them. I mean, I don't know these kids, but I'd be sticking up for them.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, I don't like it.
right.
You know?
And you know what? Like I was saying, doctors go into medicine because they want to heal people. Yeah, dentists become dentists because they want to fix people's teeth. Judges become family court judges because they care about
people's kids. Yep.
And I'll tell you this, I've heard people complain over and over again about CYF when things didn't turn out their way. But when I would go to these hearings, to testify, although usually they didn't ask me anything, but I would go to these hearings and I would see the judges saying, have we tried this? Have we tried this? Have we tried this? Have we tried this? When my agency would get referrals from me to go out, for example, me and staff like me, these family counselors,
Yeah.
I would go out and see a family. I may be seeing a family. I remember I would see families usually at least once a week, but sometimes like you, twice a week, 3 times a week, 2 or 3 hours a pop. So I mean, let's say I spend 6 hours a week with the family.
Yeah.
Well, how much does that cost?
Probably a lot of money.
Yeah, that costs a lot of money. Now, I'm not getting paid all that. It goes to my agency, and then my agency pays me.
Yeah.
But what the agency was charging was probably like over $100 an hour.
Okay.
So for me, if it was you, for me to spend 6 hours with you, CYF is probably paying about $700, $750 every week
Okay.
just for the counseling.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
Just for that. Oh, you know what? I'm really struggling, making ends meet, and it's winter time. My kids need new clothes. Okay, here's a clothing voucher. You got 3 kids, $500 each. Here's a clothing voucher for $1,500. All I need is the receipts to prove that you bought your kids' clothes with it. But here's $1,500.
Yep.
Take this to Kmart or Walmart. Buy them clothes. Bring them the receipts. You can spend up to $1,500. Wow, $1,500 on top of that. Oh gee, I fall behind on my utility bills. What do you need? $300 for the gas, $200 for the electric. Here's a check we're going to make out to the electric company for $200. This will go to the gas company. They're spending hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
To do what? Keep families together.
Yep.
And it's only when everybody is absolutely convinced this ain't going to work out. We'd rather make a mistake that keeps the kid safe than make a mistake that puts the kid in potential harm.
Yeah. Can I say something?
No.
Alright. No, see, I never admitted it to no one. I've always kept it to myself. Okay, but I mean, I was hurt when I lost my 6 kids. Because of it. Well, 7 actually, because I lost 7 to CYS. 8, the 8th one I gave away because he had special needs. I did that on my own. He wasn't taken from me. But my other ones, when they were taken from me, I had a hard time dealing with it. But, since I've been thinking about it for all these years, I think it is better off that where they're at. Because if they did stay with me, the dad might have found a way to get up in the picture and probably sued me for child support or try to get involved with the kids. So, yeah, I mean, the kids are better off where they're at. I hate to say that, and I won't admit it to nobody in my family. I won't even admit it to my family. But I think they're better off where they're at. I mean, they're better. They're getting better. Well, some of them are failing because my family don't take care of them. But but they're better off where they're at. I mean, I wish I was in the picture, but they're better off. And then I didn't want to admit this to no one, but I'm gonna say it. It might sound disrespectful
Yeah.
about my twins. As a mother, I don't want to think like this, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was excited when I found out that I was pregnant, but I found out at the same time when I lost them. That's when I found out. 'Cause I didn't know because I had my girly thing every month, so I never knew I was pregnant. But when I had twins, I thought they were able to be saved, but they weren't able to save them. But I don't know how to say it. Okay, I didn't want to admit it, but since we're talking about it, maybe it'd be better if I talked to you more than Emily and Aubrey and all of them. So, okay. It's fucked up how they died. I don't like it because of what my boyfriend did to me. But I say they're in a better place now because if they were with me, they probably either one, they would have been taken from me because my other kids, they were taken from me from CYF and I still wouldn't see them anyway. Or they would have been still with me, but then they were getting abused too. So, in the kind of way, I'm glad that they're gone. But at the same point, I'm not. So, I mean, it's kind of ignorant to say that, but that's just how I feel. And I never told anybody this. I didn't tell my therapist.
Well, I appreciate you feeling safe enough to share it with me.
Well, I mean, I'm getting used to you, and I mean, I'm opening up. I'm trying to be honest since we're working on relationships, and the twins are a big problem for me. I haven't really worked on it, and I'm not really getting used to talking to nobody. And you're doing a good job working with me. I'm learning things from you.
Glad to hear that.
So I figure if I open up to this part, maybe it would, make me feel good, and also, I don't know, at least I'm being honest with people now.
Well, I got several comments to make about that.
No.
Okay. Um,
You can be honest. I don't care.
I'm always going to be honest.
All right.
I'm just pausing here just to kind of organize my thoughts because I got some complicated things to bring up.
All right.
Okay, first of all, remember when I say worldview? Well, people treated me bad, and then you kind of generalize it. Well, everyone's going to treat me bad because this group treated me bad, so will everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, that's half the story.
Okay.
Here's the other half. Because of what you just shared. I've been holding back on this half, and now's the time to bring it up.
No.
Okay? So, the other reason why people have a hard time trusting others isn't because other people are bad. That's part of it, but sometimes it can also be because, well, I'm a bad person that doesn't deserve to be treated fairly.
Okay.
And when people have done things like that they feel bad about, guilty about, ashamed about, it's the same thing. I feel this way about me, and so does everybody else.
Yeah.
And yeah, that psychiatrist, they'll treat all their other patients like gold, but because they can see I'm a bad person, they're going to treat me differently.
Kinda.
I mean, and I'm not saying that's you, but
no, I
over the
kind of
years,
feel like it.
Yeah, over the years I've heard that from people.
I feel kind of bad because I wish, I'm kind of grateful that they're gone, so they either wouldn't get hurt or get taken from me. I mean, as a mother, I shouldn't think like this, and I really don't want to, but I kind of am.
I'll tell you what. If you need to take that, that's okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Call from
Hello? Alright. Alright, just call me. Let me know when you come up. All right, bye. That might be Shelly coming over.
Okay. When's she coming over?
Oh, it won't be till like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
if she comes. She's trying to
okay.
get her mom to bring her.
So listen. So you were saying, well, you know, I feel like I shouldn't feel that way about my kids. I shouldn't feel like they're better off somewhere else. But that's wrong for me to say.
I shouldn't be grateful that they're dead.
Well,
But in a part of the way, I feel grateful because they don't have to get abused. They don't have to be taken from me, you know, and, you know, but at the same point, I hate the father for what he did.
yeah.
I hate his guts, okay, and I don't think I'll ever stop hating him. But I mean, it's just, I don't know, I think it's wrong. I kind of hate myself. Like, the reason why, okay, like I told Elise, and when she was my therapist, I kept telling her I blame myself, but I didn't know why. I actually did know why.
Why?
I just didn't want to tell her because I'm grateful that they're gone. And so I kind of blame myself.
You blame yourself because you're grateful that they're gone?
Hmm.
What kind of life could you give them?
I don't know.
Would it have been a good life?
If the father wasn't in the picture, probably.
It would have been a good life?
Because I was going to leave town with them if they survived.
And how is that going to work out?
I was going to leave town because I can't keep the kids here.
And how would that have worked out?
I don't know. I didn't think that far.
What are the odds that that would have worked out well?
I probably would have struggled, but I mean, I could probably manage it.
Maybe?
Maybe.
You don't know. Here's the thing.
I just feel really guilty because that's how I feel. And I shouldn't think like that.
Well, let me put it this
And I
way.
never told anyone. You're the first person I told.
Does it help you to think that way?
No,
Okay.
I get mad at myself.
Okay, so it doesn't help you to think that way. So, you know, I have this video on happiness, and this guy, he's an expert on happiness, and expert in the sense of, here's what I think, an expert in terms of a researcher, you know, who really understands what makes people happy.
Yeah.
Okay? From the field of positive psychology, what really works to make people happy. One of the things he talks about is people that learn how to be happy. Among other things, one of the big things that successful people have learned to do, either learn or just intuitively, naturally, were like this, is these are people that, as he puts it, gives themselves permission to be human.
Okay.
That I could have these really bad thoughts, but these really bad thoughts still make me a bad person. Okay? So this was his example. So his example was, you know, he says, you know, I met my wife, and I met this girl, and I fell in love with her, and she fell in love with me, and we decided to get married, and for, 5 years our lives were perfect together. Then we had a kid. And he was funny about it. He says, so, it dawned on me one day, so we had our kid, he was born in the hospital, brought him home, and, every time he would start crying, my wife would just go up and take care of him. And I started to think, wow, this kid's getting more attention than me, no matter how much I cry. I mean, being funny.
Yeah.
But then he turned serious and said, but I really, but then I would start feeling guilty, like, wow, I'm such a hypocrite. I'm supposed to be this psychologist, and I'm supposed to be this person who helps people, and here I am being jealous of my own kid. Because he's getting more attention from my wife than I am.
Yeah.
And he said, I felt really bad and really guilty. But then I thought back to what the pediatrician told me. The pediatrician told me, Tall, that was his name, Tall, you're going to have these moments where you're going to wish you didn't have a kid, but that's okay. It's normal. We all have those thoughts on occasion, and so will you.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought back to him telling me that, and I realized, you know what? It's okay to have that thought. As long as I don't act on it, it's okay. I'm human. Give myself permission to be human.
Yeah.
So I learned, yeah, there's going to be times when I'm jealous of my kid, but that's okay. Doesn't make me a bad person. It's part of being human. And over the years, I've worked with people like you, in the sense of people that had kids and lost them for whatever reason.
Mhm.
And there's always this, like you, there's always this sense of guilt. You know, I should have done more. I should have done something different. I should have been able to provide. I should have been able to manage this. I shouldn't have had them. You know, in other words, for whatever reason they come up with, this was a big mistake they made and now they feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the ones who come through that, okay, are ironically the ones who turn around and start seeing it from the judge's perspective and the CYF perspective rather than the one that they own. They're blaming the judge. They're blaming CYF. You know, so they could avoid, and they did that as a choice between blaming themselves.
Yeah.
I'll blame CYF. I'll blame the judge. That way, I don't have to feel guilty about it. You see, it's not my fault. It was this judge. He's crooked. He don't care. He's mean. He's evil. And these CYF workers, don't get me started. They're even worse.
Yeah, see, I was like that for a while.
a victim.
I was like that for a while.
That's exactly
But then
right.
I saw that. Then I started thinking, you know, they were right. They would be better off somewhere else because they were getting abused.
Exactly.
So that's when I learned to deal with that. But now this, I don't know how to deal with.
So, what
With the twins.
what I've learned as a parent myself, okay, not just from the people that work with, but from my own perspective. And I got two kids. I got a boy and a girl. Now they're older. They're in their 20s, but they were little kids. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't start out being 24 and 28 years old
No.
when they were born. They were little kids when they were born,
Yes.
strangely enough. But I know what it's like to have little kids, and even now, I mean, nothing has ever created me as much pain as the pain that my kids might be going through
Yeah.
over this, that, and the other thing. Nothing hurts me as much as my kids being in pain.
Yeah.
All right. So, what I've learned from the parents who've adjusted the best from these kind of situations were the ones that, you know, came around like you're starting to and said, you know what? I actually did what was right for the kids. I stepped outside of my own needs and my own ego to think like that judge and say, you know what? I wasn't in the best position to take care of these kids. Other people were. Other people were able to give them a better life than me, and for my kids' sake, that's what's most important. I want my kids to go where they're going to have a better life.
Yes. Because I
Does that
couldn't
make me a
protect them.
bad person? Hey man, it is what it is.
I couldn't protect them because I was getting abused too.
Right. And those are the painful
And that's the
calls.
sad part, but I didn't want to admit it, but I finally see the right thing.
And that's the pressure on a judge to have to make that decision that maybe right now that parent can't make. That parent is screaming at the judge and, you know, calling the judge's name and swearing at the judge and spitting at the judge. Okay, you can't take my kids away from me. I'll track you down. I mean,
Oh yeah, they get a lot of that one.
yeah, absolutely. Because their parents are thinking of themselves,
Yes.
their own needs, their own emotions, and their own overwhelming sense of I screwed up and I'll never live with myself, so I'm going to make the judge the bad guy, not me.
See, I didn't do that. When I lost mine, I just had a nervous breakdown.
Which is another way of doing it. So
I stood in the middle of the street wanting to get hit by a car. That's what
Exactly.
happened.
So
I wanted to kill myself
depression,
because I was hurt.
there's a lot of evidence to back up the old saying in psychology, depression is anger turned inward.
It was inward.
Like what you just said.
Oh, I wanted to kill
I'm
myself.
angry and I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah.
You see
I
some
wasn't
people,
in my right mind.
they
back
get
then.
angry, they want to hurt other people. That's fury, that's rage. Road rage, I want to hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signs behind the notion that depression is anger turned inward. Instead of hurting the judge or the CYF worker or whoever, I want to hurt myself.
Yeah.
Anger turned inward.
I had random strangers coming up on me. They picked me, they got me off the street. They put me on the sidewalk, and then there were people who were hugging me.
Yeah,
trying
come
to
on,
talk to
lady,
me.
you don't want to do this.
Yeah, they got me out of the street. They picked me up. It was two people. I don't know what they were, if they were guys or females. I can't remember. But they lifted me up and put me on the sidewalk and told me to sit there, just safer there, and just have your fit there. Like whatever's wrong with you, just sit here. So I just stood there, and then I had random people coming up on me, crying, coming up, hugging me, talking to me, okay, and stuff. I was just screaming, crying. I don't know. I was losing my mind. I didn't know. I didn't know how to handle it.
Right.
I lost all my kids, and I'm the only one who showed up at all the court hearings. I did everything to keep them. My ex never did none of that stuff. He never went to none of the court hearings. He wasn't there to support me. Nothing. He wasn't being a father or a good boyfriend.
Right. So,
So I lost my mind.
right.
Some random people picked me up off the street, told me to get on the sidewalk. Cause I was sitting there crying, screaming, and want to get hit. I was literally in the middle of the street when cars are going up the hill. I was right there in the middle of the street.
Waiting to get picked off. Waiting for the soft.
I was trying to, yeah. I wasn't thinking in the right mind back then.
Yeah.
I lost 6 kids. I was pissed off.
Well,
My depression kicked in and stuff.
naturally. I mean, how else would you feel?
I felt lost. I felt empty.
That's all understandable.
And I just wanted it to stop, so I was gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
That's the only way I knew how to stop it. But eventually they asked me if I knew of one lady stopped and came to me. She's like, "Do you know anybody that I could call for you?" I said, "Well, my ex." Well, he wasn't my ex back then. He was my boyfriend. And I said, "My boyfriend," but they're like, "Well, what's his number?" And I gave the number to her, and she called him, and she's like, "Look, you really need to come down here. This is where she's at. I don't know her name, but she's here. She's screaming something about they stole her kids, and I don't know. She's really losing her mind. We had to get her off the street. She was literally in the middle of the street." So he left work, didn't even tell her the job he was leaving. He just automatically left and came down there, and then he took me home.
Well, that was good.
Yeah. Because I didn't wanted to get on the bus. I didn't want to go home. I could not think anything at that moment. My head was like blank on everything.
Pretty intense situation.
Yeah, my sister and my mom wanted to 302 me.
Yeah, to keep you safe from yourself.
I told them to get the fuck away from me. I threw my phone at them and everything. So my phone was broken. I didn't have a phone to call no one.
Yeah, so listen, an experience like that doesn't.
See, I can talk about them. That don't hurt me. It's just when I talk about the twins, it hurts. And I feel bad because of how I feel, how I think about it.
Well, that's understandable. That.
I mean, is that normal what I said? I don't think it is, but.
Wait, when you say is that normal, what exactly do you mean is what normal exactly?
What I said, that I'm glad that they're gone. They're in a better place. I think it's wrong, but that's how I feel.
Well, here's the thing.
Because if they were with me, either they would have got taken or they would have got abused by their father.
When you say normal means, well, this is what most people would think. So.
Okay, is it accurate to feel that way?
Here's the thing. Feelings are never right. They're never wrong. It's how you feel. Okay?
Okay.
So, that's what it means, giving yourself permission to be human. Here's how I feel. I was telling someone the other day how the goal isn't to fight off these feelings. The goal is not to deny these feelings. The goal isn't to ignore these feelings. what happy people, what successful people are able to do, and that's what this doctor was saying in terms of giving yourself permission to be human, is to accept the feelings.
Okay.
See, your labeling, is this normal? Oh, then that means it's okay. Is it wrong? Uh-oh, that means it's not okay. Feelings are feelings. They're not normal, they're not abnormal, they're not right, they're not wrong, they're your feelings. The goal is to accept them. Okay? And accepting them means, you know what? I'm happy I never had those twins. I'm happy that they didn't end up being born. Okay, that's how you feel. What's your thinking behind it? Well, because there was a chance, but a very small chance I could have given them a good life. There was a much bigger chance that I wouldn't have been able to.
Because they would have got either took it from me or they would have got abused by the father.
So, and here's the other thing about decisions. Okay? I've got to remind people, because it's true. Look, you did what you did at that time, because at that time, it seemed like the best thing to do.
Well, see, I didn't do anything that I could.
It just happened?
It was taken from me.
How was it taken from you?
My boyfriend beat on me and I lost my twins.
Okay, so you miscarried because he physically beat you up?
Yeah.
Well, why are you... Okay, so you didn't do this on purpose. This wasn't an abortion.
No, I didn't. No.
You had planned to carry this pregnancy through.
I have their ashes.
Okay, so you planned to carry this through. You were beaten up.
I didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't know. I had my lady thing every month.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say it out loud, but I'm embarrassed telling God that.
All right, so what you're saying is...
I never knew. I was only 4 months.
So if you didn't know, you probably
4 months.
didn't know.
No, we didn't know.
You didn't know. Neither of you knew.
No.
You only found out when it was too late.
When he beat on me and they came right out, the one came out of me, then the next day the other one came out.
Okay, and that's when you realize, uh-oh, man, I was pregnant. And he's like, you were pregnant? Okay, so what you feel bad about is, but when you think back, it's like, well, that was probably for the better. But it turned out that way because, what was I going to do with these twins?
I wanted twins. I always did.
And here's your chance, but you didn't know you were pregnant. Your boyfriend didn't know you were pregnant. Not that made it okay for him to do what he did, but...
He beat on me on that earlier that day, and then like a couple hours later...
And that triggered it.
I was in the kitchen and about to make something to eat, and then a whole bunch of water shooted at me.
Yeah.
I didn't know because...
Yeah, your water burns.
Yeah, my water never breaks. With my other kids, I always had to get them to break my water.
Yeah.
And then my last kid that I had, it was a C-section.
Yeah.
So I was told if I had any more kids, it would be a C-section.
Totally took this was totally by surprise.
Yeah, and I thought I was peeing on myself at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, what the fuck? I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Okay, it was shocked because I had no clue I was pregnant, and my water never broke by myself, so I had no clue. And then then I went into the bathroom because I thought I was peeing on myself at first. And so I went into the bathroom, but to find out, as soon as I sat down, something really big came out of me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I called him in there, and he looked, and it was a baby. So I was shocked.
Yeah.
And then they sent me home, and then they said the baby was alive, but the paramedics said they were dead. But the hospital said they were alive because they were breathing, and they took a breath and everything. But so that's literally by law they were alive, but considered actual babies because they take the breath, they're alive.
Right.
So, but they said they can't do anything for them because they're too young.
Right.
Because they were only 4 months in my belly.
Way too preemie.
Yeah, they were small. Yeah, see, that's how small they were.
Right.
So, like...
It wasn't going to survive on its own.
No. But I did ask them if they could try to send them to children's to, try to at least try to...
Do what they can.
To make a chance. To try to give them a chance. But they said they didn't do it. So, I don't know. They took them into another room, then they took me upstairs to get my placenta out. But... after they sent me home, I went back upstairs the next day because I had to sign paperwork for the baby that died. So I went home afterwards, like an hour or two later after I got home. Same time, I went in the kitchen to go make something to eat again, and the same thing happened. This time I wasn't shocked. I was kind of shocked that I had another baby coming out of me, but at least I knew what the hell it was. At least I knew I wasn't peeing on myself. This time I was aware.
Right.
So then I ran into the bathroom, and this time when the baby came out, I grabbed him by his foot in the umbilical cord. I caught him. And then I went into the bedroom. I got a towel, wrapped the baby around it. And then the paramedics came. They took me to the hospital. Then that's when they kept me. They didn't check to see if I had another baby in me when they took the first placenta.
Yeah.
So when they took the first placenta out, I think the second baby could have probably survived. But they didn't do their job to check to see if there was anything else in me. They just took the placenta out and then they did the surgery. So then that's when they kept me under surgery for a while. I was under a while because I lost a lot of blood. I almost died, they said.
Mm-hmm.
And my blood type is like O positive or O negative. They didn't have my blood type to give me. So they gave me a different blood type. And my body rejected it.
Yeah.
So they gave me 2 bags of it and it rejected it. So they stopped giving me the blood. So they told me I had to eat like a lot of fruit and vegetables and take iron pills.
Yeah, get your blood count back up.
Yeah, because I'm anemic. Right now I'm still anemic. And, like, I get tired sometimes and don't want to do things because my doctor, my PCP that I was going to before, they wouldn't give me no iron pills. So they didn't want me to. They just wanted me to eat fruit and vegetables.
Right.
So my iron's kind of still low. But then I went back up there the next day to go fill out the paperwork for that baby. And then I didn't have money to get both of them buried or cremated. So I called the church that I used to go to. I spoke to the pastor, Pastor Denise. She said she was going to do it for the one. She didn't know that I had a second one, so I had to call her back and tell her that there was twins. So she paid for both of them to get cremated for me. The pastor did it. And then I got them cremated where my mom was cremated in Carnegie, that funeral home on the main drag in Carnegie. And they got cremated there, and the guy, he brought them to me afterwards. Because I wasn't allowed to leave the house to go get it, and my boyfriend, he was ignorant as fuck, and he didn't want to get the kids. Right. So they brought it to me, because he knew my family. So he brought me my sons and stuff, and everything, and so that was pretty much it. So he didn't charge them for 2 babies. They pretty much just charged her for 1 baby because they were small.
Right.
They weren't really full term, so they just charged for 1 price for both. I didn't believe in getting them cremated, but it would have cost more money to get them buried.
Here's the thing, though. See, the way I read that is, at the end of the day, you took responsibility for it. And you have them. And you cherish them.
Yes.
And even though they never had a chance to make it, you still acted like a mom.
And I believe in God, and I got a whole bunch of God stuff over here by them.
All right.
I buy them toys.
That's what I mean. You're still taking care of them.
I buy them toys and stuff.
See?
I mean, they're little. I mean, they're not alive, but I still buy them toys. I buy them boy toys.
Yeah. So you're doing all these things that a parent would do, okay?
When they're alive.
Well, I get it. You're doing all these things that a good parent would do, okay? But you're saying, but then it crosses my mind, and I have to be honest, that I think that it turned out, this is the best way that it could have turned out. But I feel guilty for thinking that.
I hate myself for that.
Giving yourself permission to be human means, hey,
Because as a mom, you shouldn't think like that.
That's what I mean. You give yourself permission to be human. There's no, see, Remember when I said feelings are right, feelings are wrong? What did you say? I'm wrong for feeling that way. Let me repeat. Feelings aren't right, feelings are wrong. They're just feelings.
Yeah.
Okay? So
But I feel guilty for it. And I don't know how to stop feeling guilty.
feelings aren't right, feelings aren't wrong. And the way you stop feeling guilty is, and that's, guilt is a very expensive emotion. In terms of our emotional energy and our emotional, what we call psyche, guilt is very expensive. What do I mean? What do you mean guilt is expensive? Is there anything you can do about it now?
No.
How does it make you feel when you think about it?
Sad. I cry.
What can you do about it?
Nothing.
Okay, that's why it's very expensive. It makes me feel bad, it makes me cry, and there's nothing I can do about it. Gee, I'd be better off if I didn't think about it.
I did hid them for a whole year. I hid them inside here. I hid their pictures. But I was feeling guilty.
And that's what I'm saying.
So I tried to talk to them, and then when I moved here, I brought them out. They're out here now, and then I put their pictures up. But looking at the pictures and seeing their ashes,
See,
it fucks with me.
right, but that's what I mean. Feelings aren't right, feelings aren't wrong. So the goal with negative feelings isn't to hide them or deny them, okay?
I did for a
Or
whole
try
year.
to, right, well, you can try,
Well, 2 years actually.
you
No.
can try, but it's not going to be successful. Like you said.
I tried for 2 years.
What's the way out? Accepting them.
Yeah. That's why I brought them out and
Yeah.
hanging up pictures
And,
of them.
and right, and you know, maybe you didn't realize it at the time, but what you've been doing is working towards accepting it. I'm not going to hide it.
That's why I did all this.
I'm going to bring it out. And in fact, I'm going to not only bring it out, but I'm going to draw attention to it. You're working through accepting it.
They sleep right beside me.
Right. So you
I
went
keep them close to me.
you went from literally trying to hide this, put this out of your sight, to where it's front and center. You're going through this process of accepting it. The problem is, it's taken a long time, but the good news is, but at least it's happening. But you know, the bigger point is, you know, giving yourself permission to be human. I mean, you know what? Sometimes sometimes I think to myself, I'm glad these twins weren't born. Huh? I shouldn't think that way. I shouldn't say it that way. It's just like what that doctor said. You know, maybe I would have been better off. Maybe we would have been better off as a couple if we didn't have kids. Oh my God! Well, how could I think such a thing? I'm such a bad person. It's giving yourself permission to be human. We all think things like that. You know, I remember when my wife, when we found out she was pregnant,
Mhm.
and we were both like, this is like way too soon. It wasn't like a planned thing, it was like an accidental thing. I mean, we were being careful, but apparently not careful enough. We got, our daughter was born 2 weeks short of our first anniversary.
Okay.
Okay, we wanted to wait a good 2-3 years
Before you have a kid.
before we had a kid, and she was born almost 2 weeks before our first anniversary. So it was under 1 year that we had our first kid, but we wanted it to be more like at least 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah.
And there were times it's like, oh man, this isn't the way we wanted to do it. This isn't the way we wanted to plan it. You know, this isn't the way we planned it. You know, is this really a good idea? You know, it's too bad this had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
you can keep your feet like that. I don't mind.
Oh, okay. But you know, does that make us bad people?
Probably not. No.
Well,
I don't know. Hell, I don't even know what I think is bad.
am I gonna go call my daughter up? Hey, guess what? You know, before you were born, you know, me and your mom, we were like, oh boy, I wish we weren't having this kid. I'm not gonna go tell her that, because I'm not necessarily, you know, bragging about it. But I'm just sharing that because that's very common. You know, we all have these kind of thoughts. You know, look, I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like him as a president. What he does in his personal life, I don't care. I'll admit something to you. When I heard when he was diagnosed with COVID, I hope he gets real sick.
Oh, I hope he died. That's what I was hoping.
Okay. Now, is
That's
it
painful.
right to want someone to get real sick? No, it's not.
No, it's
Should
not.
I feel proud of that? No, I don't. But is that what popped into my head?
Yes, mine. It did mine.
Well, what are you saying? It only popped into your head once? Well,
No, it popped in occasionally.
Okay, but that's what I mean. We all think things, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's different because I don't know. I never lost twins. I mean, I was used to losing my mom. I never knew my father. He died when I was 5, so that really didn't affect me. But when I lost my mom, that hurted me. Like when I lost my grandma, it kind of hurted me, but I really didn't know her as much. But I really never had people like kids die until now.
Yeah.
So it's like that hit me really harder. It hit me harder. I just like shut down, didn't talk to nobody. I never grieved them,
Right.
and I still haven't grieved them.
Right. Well, but you're making progress because of what you're doing with the ashes.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other problem why you haven't grieved them is you're still resolving this guilt over how it went down. And your thought process since it went down. Well, maybe it was for the best. Should I really be thinking that? Oh, that is so wrong. Oh, I just wish this never happened. Period. It's very confusing feelings, very hard to sort out. But what makes it harder is when you start to label these kind of feelings as good versus bad, right versus wrong, evil versus righteous. You know, you're labeling them qualitatively, meaning, you know, my feelings are wrong, my feelings are bad, my thoughts are awful. But
It is.
they're not. That's the way you're labeling them. But again, people who are successful in learning how to live a happy life are people in denial. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, so what? It's no big deal. In fact, I don't even remember that it really happened. It really happened? Oh, yeah, I guess it did. That's denial. Okay?
Yes, I know.
All right? But you know.
I'm not in denial. I just don't want to think about it.
But it's realistic. But that's what I mean. You know, when you tell yourself, I don't want to think about it. Let me do a little experiment with you.
All right.
This is going to take 10 seconds.
Okay, that's cool.
Can
You
you
don't
take
mind?
10 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. But before you do that, I want your full concentration.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to ask you to do something for 10 seconds.
All right.
So for the next, and it's not going to be 10 seconds, then you can light up, and I'll even keep track. So for the next 10 seconds, I want you to not think about a pink elephant. So don't think about pink elephant. You know, like Dumbo with the big ears. Don't think about a pink elephant. Whatever you do, don't think about a pink elephant. You're almost done, and time's up.
Kind of think about it. I did.
What's the motto of the story? When you tell yourself, don't think about it,
I did.
you're going to
Anyway.
think about it. Listen, sports psychologists and athletes
Okay.
will tell you, you know, like, if you a sports fan at all?
Kinda.
All right, let's say you're a field goal kicker. You know what a field goal kicker is in football?
Yeah.
Okay. And they tell, you know, field goal kickers, what's the worst thing you can think about when you line up to kick a field goal?
Okay.
What's the worst thing to think about? What do you think?
Kicking it in the wrong spot.
Exactly. If you're thinking about, I hope I don't kick us in the wrong spot. I hope I don't kick us in the wrong spot.
It's
What
supposed to
are
go
you
in the
gonna do?
middle, not to the left or the right.
Right. And if you're thinking, don't go right, don't go right, don't go right, what's going to happen?
It's gonna go right.
Exactly. When you try to force something when you that's when this doctor was talking about giving yourself permission, and this is you see this a lot in mindfulness literature.
Okay.
When you try to force a thought out of your head, you only make it stronger.
Okay.
Like I said, don't think about a pink elephant. Make sure you're not thinking about a pink elephant. You can't help but think about it now.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
When you watch a golfer line up for a putt, you know, he's not saying, if he's saying to himself, don't miss this, don't miss this, don't miss this, he's going to miss it.
Yep, it's going to go in the trees or the water.
No doubt. And that's what golfers will say. You know, that's
I mean,
why
I watch
golfers
sports,
say,
but I don't really
don't
watch it.
think, just do it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, golfers will tell you, you know, the last thing you want to think about is what you're doing.
Yeah.
You just trust it. That's what I always say, trust your shot. Field goal kickers, you just got to trust the kick. Meaning, don't think about it. Just do it. Don't think about it. You know, if you try to think about it, if you think don't miss it, don't miss it, don't miss it, you missed it.
Yeah.
Idiot. Told you not to think, but I couldn't help it. Exactly.
Like Ben Roethlisberger, not to throw the football over your player's head, where they can't catch the ball.
And they'll tell
I'm
you.
sorry, I know you're a Steeler fan, I know.
No. I'd be the first one to agree with you on that, and so would he. You know, he threw a pass, he underthrew the guy, he was wide open, he would have picked up a big first time, he went like that. Well, I kept telling myself, don't throw the ball too hard, don't throw the ball too hard. What did he do? He threw it way too soft, the pass went incomplete, Steelers got a punt. And he's like, no, I shouldn't have been telling myself that, but I did anyway.
Yep, and then sometimes when they're running down the field to try to catch the football, he throws way over top of their freaking head where they can't even reach it.
Because he's probably thinking, I don't want this intercepted. I don't want this intercepted. If I throw short, going to get intercepted, boom, it sails. So, but the point is, that's why people that learn how to manage their emotions, okay, where they can learn from them but not be consumed by them.
Okay.
Where their negative feelings can help them but not so much hurt them, it's because they've learned how to accept their feelings. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to be angry about it. I'm not going to be guilty over it. I'm not going to, you know, do any of this. I'm just going to accept it. You know what? I have these thoughts. These thoughts pop into my head at times. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm glad I didn't have these kids. There it was. Now it's gone. Move on to something else. Oh yeah, let's go on in this game. Okay? You accept it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
You
even
come
play
and
anything.
go. But my point is, but you accept these thoughts. You don't challenge them. You don't fight with them. You don't argue with them. You accept them.
But how do I accept it? To me, I love family, and I don't have family. You know, and I've always wanted kids, but I never got to raise none of mine.
You let it come, and you let it go. Now, here's the thing. Sounds very simple. Let it come, let it go.
But thank you for listening about the twins.
Absolutely.
I know that's probably not what we were supposed to work on, but I wanted to be upfront about it.
Here's what I'm getting ready to do the note. So here's how I'm going to tie it into the goal social. Here's how I'm going to make sense out of all this.
All right.
In terms of what we're supposed to be talking about, because in a large way, I always see this as what we're supposed to be working on. We're supposed to be working on developing healthy relationships.
Yes.
Okay? Remember what I said, healthy relationships are a two-way street.
Yes.
You're going to find people who act right in their relationships,
Yes.
but at the same time, you have to act that way too.
Yes.
Opposites don't attract.
Exactly.
If I want healthy people, nice people, good people to be friends with me, I have to be that kind of person myself.
Yes.
What blocks people sometimes from doing that? When they have very low self-esteem because they feel like they're bad people. I was working with this girl. Remember I started doing like outpatient therapy?
Yeah.
I was working with this girl. And she came in for depression and anxiety. That was her problem. But you may relate to this. Big part of the problem was her relationship with her boyfriend. Same thing. She didn't complain about him She said that they would fight each other physically.
Okay.
But she felt, well, you know, I usually started it. I would punch him, he'd punch me back. Well, look, you gotta quit throwing the first punch. But what was really clear, and eventually I saw this with my own two eyes. He was very verbally abusive.
Okay.
You're no good. You're ugly. You're stupid. You try to leave me, no one's gonna want to be with you. You're such an idiot. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
Okay.
Verbally, mentally, and physically.
Yeah.
And emotionally.
Absolutely. So this boyfriend, put her down all the time. Now, how do I know that? Well, I'll answer.
Because she told?
No, she told me that.
Yeah.
And how did I know that? Well, that's her side of the story. So when it became clear that these two were having problems with each other, I said, hey, I can do couple counseling if your boyfriend be willing to come in and talk. Really? You'd be willing to do it? Yeah, sure. If you want that and if he wants that, sure. And surprisingly to her, he agreed. So he came in for probably like 5 or 6 times for couples counseling. And I would see him call her name, put her down, and I was like, all right, time out. I can't remember her name. I said, all right, Susie, why don't you go out, take a cigarette break, me and Danny are going to talk. I was like, Danny, if she's such an idiot, if she's such a moron, if she's so stupid, why are you with her? I mean, what does that say about you that you're with someone so inferior?
Mm-hmm.
So I would talk to him, well, you're only putting her down shows you have no respect for yourself.
Or her, yep.
Yeah, well, your disrespect for her really is rooted in disrespect for yourself.
Yep.
So anyways, but it was true. He always put her down. I saw it with my own two eyes, and I would talk to him about it, and he actually was pretty good at talking and listening and trying to learn. But anyways, after I got the full treatment here and seeing what she was putting up with, she came in for just an individual session, and I said, so how did you get involved with this guy to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, that's my problem. I keep going from one guy like this after another. And of course, did the usual therapy. Well, what was it like growing up? And well, my dad was meaningful. All right, there you go. Okay?
Daddy issues.
Daddy issues. I said, but, and then she goes, except there was this one guy this one time.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, I'm curious. Tell me about it. What happened? She told this guy, she said, she was not dating anybody at the time. And she was like, I think she said she was at Chauncey's. Remember Chauncey's? You might be too young. Chauncey's was this like high trend, like Station, where Station Square is?
Yeah.
Chauncey's was like this high-end bar in Station Square.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Chauncey's, right?
Yeah.
She said she went to Chauncey's.
My mom used to work down there.
Okay.
Not at Chauncey's, but at Station Square.
Yeah. So Chauncey's was like a higher-end kind of bar, and it was not exclusively, but it's kind of a singles bar where you would go to meet, if you were single, you'd go to meet people, and that's what she was doing there. She was single, and she was looking to meet, she was open to meeting somebody.
Okay.
And she did. She met some guy who ended up being totally crazy about her. I mean, totally crazy. Not crazy in a bad way.
In a good way.
I mean head over heels with her.
Yeah.
And he would do what I would think most girls would appreciate. Send her flowers and call her up, just wanted to say hello, see how your day was going, always doing thoughtful things. It's like, well, what happened? Oh, and then I said, well, I'm just curious, what kind of work did this guy do? I'm just curious. Oh, he was a doctor. You mean like a medical doctor? Yeah, he worked at a hospital. He was a doctor. Like a real doctor, like a practicing doctor. Yeah, he was a practicing medical doctor. And who broke up with who? Well, I broke up with him. You broke up with him? Why would you do that for? No, I gotta say, not that this makes a big difference, but just so you picture, she was actually a pretty attractive girl. So the fact that this doctor would go, gaga over her wasn't hard to believe.
Yeah.
So because she was the kind of person, if a guy saw her at the bar, I mean, you would notice her. A guy would notice her. So, and I was telling her, I said, well, look, you're an attractive girl. I mean, and I can understand why you would have caught this guy's attention.
Yeah.
That this guy would have spotted you. So I can see why he was interested.
So why did she break up?
Here's why guess what? Great minds think alike. You know what I asked her?
What?
Why'd you break up?
So what she said?
She goes, because I knew I wasn't good enough for her. And I knew as soon as he found out who I really was, he would have broken up with me. It had no chance.
Well, that's not true, probably.
I said, what? I said, well, what did this guy like about you? Oh, no. You don't know? Well, why didn't you take the time to find out what he liked about? Oh, I just knew it wasn't going to work out. Well, how many times did you go out? I don't know, 5 or 6 times. Well, did he give you any indication that he was thinking of breaking this off? Oh, no. In fact, he kept getting more and more into it, so I got scared and decided, I need to nip this in the bud. Okay, and this was before you met the guy now who's telling you you're a loser. Yeah. And how long have you been with this guy? Oh, about a year now. And how long did you give the doctor a chance? Oh, about a month and a half.
I stepped into the doctor because he was treating her better.
What's wrong with this picture? Exactly. But here's my point.
Not because he was a doctor, but because he cared about her and he liked her.
But here's the point.
And he's good for her.
Here's the point. You know what sunk her? Low
self-esteem.
She gave up on what would have been a completely. I mean, I mean, I didn't do this with her because I don't want to make her crazy. See, as a therapist, you don't want to make people crazy. You want to make them feel better.
Yeah.
But it certainly crossed my mind. Wow, her life could have been
better.
So much better. If she would have been working with me at the time, because I would have worked on her self-esteem and coached her through so this relationship had a chance to work out for her. She could have been not living in some, crazy apartment with this abusive boyfriend, some low-rent apartment with this abuse. She could have been living in a nice house with a good guy, and she was young enough, she could have started a family with this guy, could have had a normal life, and instead she gave up that potential great future to be with this guy who tells her every day what a loser she is.
That's how my ex was.
Holy crap.
And I think, and honestly, I really thought that I'm not good for people. See, I'm like that too. I think I might have low self-esteem too.
There you go. That's why I'm bringing it up. Low self-esteem.
I think I do.
And this happens more subconsciously than.
That's why I don't like how I look and stuff.
And you think other people don't. So a lot of times people don't trust other people, not because they're bad people, but I'm not an average person. I'm not a good person. I'm not a worthy person. So they're not going to treat me like a good person here. They're going to treat me like a bad person there.
Yeah.
So 9 out of 10 people would treat the nice person okay. 10 out of 10 are going to treat me not so nice.
Yeah.
Not because of them, because of who they are.
Because of me.
But because of who I am.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes. See, because, I don't know, for some reason, okay, I keep saying this, but I don't know the reason. But I'm very attracted to Al. Okay, and I don't know. It ain't because he has a house, he has a car, because he has a good job. Nothing like that. I mean, like I told I don't know if I told you, but I know I told Emily and Aubrey. See, I'm totally opposite from other people. You don't have to buy me things and take me places. I don't care about that. I'm not that type of girl. I don't care about that stuff. Okay, to make me feel happy or whatever. As long as you show me that you love me, that you care about me, you show me attention. When we have bad days, we work them out together. And like, don't go to bed angry. Make it up. Try to talk to it. Don't walk away from it. Work things out. That's what I try to do with my ex. None of that stuff worked. So, and that, but for some reason, I was attracted to my best friend. I don't know why, but I don't know. I'm attracted to him. I kind of liked him way before I even knew what he looked like. I didn't even know what he looked like, and I liked him.
Say that again, that last thing again?
I didn't know what he looked like, and I liked him.
And we talked about why you liked him.
Yeah, but I meant before I actually saw what he looked like.
No, but we talked about why. You started out thinking this guy's different. What made him different? Remember, you always
He showed me attention.
Exactly. What kind of attention?
Like how
kind attention.
Kind of like how a boyfriend should treat a girl.
That's what I mean by kind attention.
Yes.
He was kind to you. He wasn't degrading. He didn't call you names. He didn't put you down. He didn't criticize you. He didn't tell you how terrible you were. Kind attention. He was kind to you. He showed interest. He, gave you his attention. He told you things about himself.
Well, he didn't tell me much. He told me some things. But
he told you some things. And when he told you some things, it was like, well, these are nice things for him to share.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you things like, I'd like to kill you. Oh, thanks for sharing. I'm glad you told me something about yourself. No. It's like, yeah, well, I like, I like this kind of music.
And actually, I do like Spanish stuff, but see, when I was listening to Spanish stuff, it would be like in English, like Pitbull, like Sean Paul. I don't know if you know them. Have you ever heard of them?
I've heard of who he is. I don't listen to that kind of music.
Oh, okay. Well, I used to listen to the English version. Like the wrestlers. I like Rey Mysterio, like Sin Cara. I wasn't really into Sin Cara, but I kind of was a little bit. But, later down the line, watching him and everything, I started getting into Sin Cara. And, Kalisto, Eddie Guerrero, so like I already liked some of that stuff. I didn't like it because I met Al, because he was from Puerto Rico and he spoke Spanish. That's not the reason. I like Cardi B, and then she, well, I thought she was from Mexico, but to find out she's the Mexican Republican. I didn't know where she was actually from at first. I just knew she was a singer. I didn't know she was on a TV show, one of them hip hop TV shows, and I didn't know she was a stripper until I really got into her. I liked her music. That's what got me into her. And I'm like, well, wait, she's like really disgracing guys, but but I enjoy her music.
Mm-hmm.
But and then that's when I started learning more about some of the Spanish music. Like I noticed about a song called Ajera Dice, I think that's how you say it. But Cardi B sung it with J Belvin, I think his name is, and Ozona. But that's when I started getting into Ozona, because of Cardi B. And then Al, he started sending me other music like Bad Bunny, Mike Towers, Raul Alejandro, and Nengo Flow, and Wonka El Problematic, and there's a lot of them. I don't know. I can't remember all the names by heart. But like Daddy Yankee. Well, I found out Daddy Yankee on my own. But how you say it? Hector El Father. Like all of them, he got me into that. Like, but I was learning a little bit of it because I showed Al, because I was trying to listen to Spanish music on my own to try to learn how to speak Spanish. and I asked him, and I showed him my playlist. I asked him if I listened to this, would it teach me Spanish? And he said he didn't know, or I can't remember exactly what he said. I don't know, but I was trying to learn it from music. But eventually, at first, it wasn't working. But then you just keep listening it over and over, and then especially the songs that Al gave me, I like because for one, I liked them because he gave them to me, and then two, I liked it because I think the music's tight.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, on some of the songs I find on my own too now, but some of them I don't know what they mean. I like the beats, I like how they singing, I like the singers, but I just don't know what they're saying on some things. Like some of the words, I can understand. But like Raul Alejandro, I like him more because the reason I like him more is because when he sings like slowly, okay, and I can start catching on to his words. Like when he does like TikTok or little Facebook messages, he does like videos, and he's not actually in concert. He's just doing it on his phone, and just like he'd be in a bedroom somewhere or a hotel or on a bus or whatever. He'll sing a song, but he'll be like talking it, and he talks it slowly, so I can catch on, so I can start copying it off of him. I was trying to do it with Cardi B, but she goes too fast, especially in Spanish. When she sings, she kind of sings fast, so I couldn't learn it from her. But that's so I was like more interested in learning things more about Spanish stuff in Puerto Rico because that's where I was from, and I want to know more things. As a friend, and maybe more than a friend. I'm not gonna lie, I will admit it. But I mean, and then when I started really liking him more, and then when I saw what he looked like, I told him he was handsome and sexy. I mean, I gave him a compliment. It's a good compliment because it's true. That's what he does. He looks like that. Okay, and I don't know. And then my feelings would start getting stronger for him, and then I don't know. In some of the music videos he would send me, I would start thinking that'd be me and him. Like how you said, remember how I dream about him, on a beach in Puerto Rico. How did you say it?
Wait a minute, say that again?
remember I told you I was embarrassed because I said it, that I'd be sleeping and I dream about him. Dream about
Yeah,
us
like
being in Puerto
walking
Rico.
hand in hand on the beach,
Yeah.
and walking up to the bistro and sipping some kind of, fancy Cuban coffee or
There you
something,
go, yeah.
and having a mariachi singer, sidle up to the table and croon love songs while you look in each other's eyes and all that kind of romance.
Yeah. There's a song called Uno Noche. Okay?
One night.
Yeah, One Night, yeah. I told you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I like that song. I'm really into that song. I like it a lot. I know what it means too in English. But it's just the fact that Raul gets the girl at the end. And in my head, I was thinking about when I dream that I get out. I don't know if that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird?
Wait, say it again?
Oh, okay. How Raul Alejandro gets the girl at the end of the video of the song, I'd be dreaming that I would get out like that in my dream. And then like La Player, it's another song, and it's the beach. But in English it's for the beach. But I be thinking like how Mike Tyers is with the girl and stuff, how they be on the yacht and they be on the beach and the water and stuff. That's what I be thinking about me and Al in my sleep. When I'm sleeping, I dream about it.
Well, is that normal? Is that weird? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, is
having
that
those
weird?
kind of dreams?
Yeah. Off the music videos he gives me when it's about like a love song, I take it and put it like it's me and Al
Well,
in my dreams.
yeah.
So I don't know.
But
And I'm not gonna lie, I do want it to come true.
Of course you do, otherwise you wouldn't be thinking of it.
I do want him to come be honest with me about it. Oh, but there's a thing I want to ask. He told me, he said that Al said that he liked the inside of you, but not the outside of you. So, I was kind of hurt by it. So I was crying, I was upset. And Al heard me crying, and he asked me why was I crying. Because I told him no, I wasn't. And then I'm like, wait, he already heard me, so, I might as well be up front. I said, yes, I was crying, but I didn't want you to know. And he's like, why? And I told him, I said, because it's what Beast Pro said to me about you, that you said about me. And he's like, what did he say? And I said that Beast Pro told me that you like the inside of me, but not the outside of me. And he's like, no, I never said that. And he called Beast Pro right away and told him to not to lie to me anymore.
Well, and again, first of all, it's never good to have an in-between.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't ask Beast Pro. He just told me.
Right. And that's why it's never good to have an in-between, whether you're telling him or whether you're giving him information to relay or getting information from him. Keep it between you and Al.
Yeah.
So
Al, ever since, he told me not to discuss me and him anymore with Beast Pro.
Well, and I can see why, because he's saying don't trust what this guy tells you.
Yeah, and don't.
But that's why you got to leave between you and him. But the other thing is, again, you got to be real, and that's what that article is saying. You got to be real careful when it's clear that you're all in, but the other person isn't. Because what you're doing now is again, you're doing a lot of what if. Okay?
Yeah, and I be dreaming a lot of stuff in my head, and I can't get it out of my head.
Right.
And I like it.
Right. Well, that's okay as long as you understand what if may not turn out to be what is.
What I want, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I mean, Al to like me. I do want Al to be my boyfriend, but I'm not going to force it on him.
Right. But be careful where you allow your expectations to go. And again, what he said to you is, I can take it, you want to take it this far.
Yes.
He's told you, I'll take it this far.
Yep.
But then when I hear you say, well, he might go that far, thinking he might go that far, I'm wanting him to go that far, but he might not go that far because he's telling you he's right here.
Yes.
So there's nothing.
And I respect that too.
Okay. So there's nothing he can do. It's all what you do. And here's the thing.
And I always told him, I respect that.
So here's the thing.
I'm not mad at him.
Here's the thing. Are these fantasies okay?
To me, I think yes, but I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. Fantasies are fine as long as you recognize what they are.
I mean, I know they're fantasies. I have a lot of fantasies about him.
Okay. As long as those fantasies don't turn into expectations.
Yes. I mean, I would like him to be more than just a friend, but I'm not going to force it on him.
Right.
I'm not that type of girl.
And what might make someone at risk of forcing someone is when it becomes an expectation. Come on, Al. Admit it already. You're in love with me. Quit holding back. Guess what? I'm going to be down there next week. I already bought a plane ticket. Clear your calendar. Clear your schedule. You're spending the next week with me. Oh, well, that's where you can get into big trouble.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
When you turn this fantasy into an expectation
Exactly.
and you start acting it out.
Yeah.
And that's what that article is probably telling you. Don't do that.
Yes, that's what I read about, yes.
Okay. Don't do that.
And see, and like I even said to Beast Pro, because he was telling me to go after Al Simmons. I said no. I said, I'm not that type of girl. I don't do that. If a guy's going to like me, I want him to like me for himself.
Absolutely.
Not because what I do.
Right. So all
I don't play that little manipulation. I can't say it right. How you say it?
Manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation. I don't do that shit.
And good for you for not doing it.
I'm not that type of girl. I don't know how the girls down there do it, or what type of girls he messes with that does it. Beast Pro, because he probably does that with them, and they probably do it with him.
It's games playing.
Because Beast Pro told me he's a whore. He sleeps around with that girl.
And in that culture, that might be okay. All right, I got to get going. Let me ask you, what did you learn today? What did you get out of this?
I learned to accept how I feel about things, and knowing what I think about is not real. I mean, it's not wrong and it's not bad. Right. And how to work on feelings towards my kids and relationships with other people, how they put things together and stuff. Is that good or do you need more?
That's good.
I hate doing this because Emily always wants me to do it. And I'm like, oh God, I hate this. But yeah, but see, like I told him, I'm not that type of girl. I don't get guys to try to want to be with me. I want them to like me for themselves. You know, I'm not that type of girl. And I'm not saying Puerto Rican girls are different from how I am. I'm not saying that's how they do it down there because I don't know their culture. But as what I've been seeing like on the internet and stuff, they seem like they're decent people. There's some might be some bad ones, but there's some decent ones. You know, I hear how they talk on Facebook. I read about it. I can translate how they talk about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm not saying that their culture is any different from our culture. You know, everybody's equal to me. You know, I treat people equally.
Right, but what I mean in terms of different culture is, you know.
Oh, I did it without you telling me.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
Oh,
well,
my bad.
It didn't take.
Oh, my bad.
And so I give you the cue. Ready, set, go.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
W.
Yep, there you go. EW. I'm like, damn, I just did it right there as soon as you gave it to me. But no, so like, you know, I don't see anything different. How I feel about him, yes. Do I want him to be that way? Yes, I do want him to be the same way with me. But am I going to force it? No. You know, it's my problem. I have to work on.
Exactly.
It's not his, because like I said, he was always upfront with me from day one. Ever since I told him how I felt about him.
And that's the thing about fantasies, to always keep that in mind. As far as I know, as far as I can be sure, is what he's told me.
Yes.
All these, well, he might really be thinking this way, he might really be feeling that way, might, don't cut it.
Yep, because he might feel the way that I do, but he just don't want to admit it. But I can't really depend on that. That's just wishful thinking.
Yes. Now, as long as you keep that clearly in mind, then the fantasies are harmless. If they help you feel good for 10, 15 minutes, however long you think about them, okay. It's better than 10 or 15 minutes of feeling miserable.
Yeah, that's true.
Taking the same 10 or 15 minutes and dwelling on something terrible, or how much you want to, you know.
I dream about it all night in my sleep. I don't know how long.
How much you really wish Donald Trump would have gotten really sick when he had COVID, and we lost our chance. Yeah, it's better thinking about those fantasies of having a great time with Al than thinking about, gee, I wish Donald Trump would have got more sick.
Yeah, because when I dream about Al, I don't dream about him playing video games with me. I dream more romantic
about
things.
Being together, about.
I don't mean like sex or nothing. I mean just romantic
being
things.
Together.
Yeah, just being together.
Togetherness.
Yeah.
Bonding.
Yeah, just getting to know each other, you know, stuff like that, you know. How he
and
would
like
treat.
I said, see,
but I know it's a fantasy. I know it's not real.
It's a fantasy, but here's the thing that I'm going to leave you with.
All right.
Why would you have a fantasy like this?
Because I'm into him. I like him a lot. He's good looking. I'm not going to deny it, he is.
You want my answer?
Okay, yeah, I'll take your answer.
Because that's the kind of relationship you're missing in your life.
I want a good relationship.
Yes.
I never had one.
Right.
And Al's
so fantasies like this and dreams like that often signal to us what's missing. That's why they're fantasies, because it's not in real life. If it was in real life, they wouldn't be fantasies.
Exactly.
They would be real life. So that's the thing about.
I take it like, because I see Al as a good person. And I fantasize about him because that's how I want in a good relationship.
What you see in Al is the kind of person you wish was here, giving you this in real life, in real time, right now.
Yes.
And right now, let's face it, Al's the closest you have to that. Because right here in whatever neighborhood this is, Sheridan, that person doesn't exist. But Al, he's the closest thing to it.
Yes.
But the question is that going to be good enough? Well, right now, It is. But the danger, but if these fantasies get more stronger,
And real.
well, stronger in the sense of, for example, if you start, if I know, for example, if I notice you say, no, George, you don't get it. I think this is what this really means. I think this is what he really wants to say. I think he said this, but it really meant that. If you're doing that more and more, it's like, all right, time out.
Yeah.
You know, because you're getting to the point where, like Donald Trump. I didn't lose the election. Yeah, you did. No, I didn't. I'm going to start filing all these lawsuits. And now people are worrying about, wait a minute, you know, is this guy like going to lose his mind over this? I mean, is he really going to do something like really inappropriate?
I think so, yeah.
Well, right. Why? Because he's not letting this go.
Exactly.
He's going farther and farther with this, and now it's starting to make people nervous.
Yep.
He's not accepting what the truth is. He's having fantasies. I didn't lose. No, these attorneys that I'm yelling at to go out there and prove all this fraud, they're going to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
These attorneys are going in front of these judges. Judges, what, are you saying there's fraud? Are you saying people are committing fraud? Well, no, Your Honor, I'm not saying that. Because these attorneys are realizing if you lie to a judge, you're going to lose your law license.
Okay.
And it's like, do I want to lie for this guy and lose my license because this guy's getting crazier and crazier about thinking he really won this election because, you know, all these people cheated?
Hell no, I'd be honest. I don't care if you're a dirt lawyer or not.
Exactly.
Fire me. Hey, you can find a new one.
Exactly. So, when someone gets carried away with a fantasy, it leads to trouble.
Yes.
That's the moral of that story. So,
see, I have fantasies of him because it makes me feel good.
I know.
It takes my mind off of things.
But again,
but I know it in real life. I know it's not going to happen until he wants it to happen. If it ever will happen.
But regardless of what his motivations are,
yes,
or what his motivations may end up being, what these fantasies are telling you is, this is what is missing in my life.
Yes. Because I see Al's a good person, and I want someone like Al, but...
Well, and what you just said, and maybe you didn't realize what you just said, but what you just said was really important, and you said, I need someone like Al. In other words, I need a real Al. Not a game, a PlayStation Al, a real live Al who I can really spend, you know, if we can't walk along the beach, at least we can walk along the river.
Oh, no. No. I mean, I want something like him, but me, I'm not going to lie. I want him as a friend, but if it was an option, if he was open up to it, like if he was okay with you know, discussing it, maybe try to have a relationship, I would love that. But me messing with another guy, I don't think I can.
Well, right. But here's what you got to... Well, look, first of all, there is no other guy. So you don't have this choice to make right now.
No.
Okay? But what I'm saying is, to that point, but if that choice presents it, don't be like the girl that turned down the doctor. When a good choice presents itself, you know, you don't want to make an unwise choice because, oh, but I'm so committed to Al. Al
is not committed to
it may not work out like this guy right here might.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying punt Al right now, tell Al to get lost right now. I'm just saying...
No, Al would always be my friend no matter what.
Exactly.
Even if we don't be boyfriend and girlfriend, he would always still be my friend.
And that's what I said. You could, I sense that if you tell, hey Al, guess what, man? I met some guy, we're going out on a date this week, and he's going to say, cool. What? You're not mad? You're not telling me not to? You're not like jealous? You're not saying, no, wait a minute. I want you to come down here and live with me. Well, you hope that's what he says.
I hope. But I know it's not
But
going to
if
come
he
true.
doesn't,
I know it's not going to come true.
don't let
Don't
the
get hurt.
good guy go.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. So listen, I will be back next week.
Okay, so you're not coming Friday then?
No, I got some other guy I got to do.
Well,
trip in the, I have to see someone in the afternoon. No one else is coming Friday?
No.
I mean, in terms of other.
Mm-mm.
Let me call you Friday morning. I may be able to come in the morning,
Okay.
like like at 10:30 to 12 kind of thing.
Alright, that's cool.
All right, but I'll call you Friday morning.
I think we were scheduled for that anyway.
Well, we were last week, but that's because Elizabeth was off.
No. You were scheduled to, rescheduled for Friday, I think. Hold on, wait. Here, I have the code. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
This Friday? You know what this Friday is? Friday's Thursday.
Yeah. You were supposed to come 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
This Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Friday 13th?
Yeah.
All right. Well, looks like I can't. I'll call you Friday morning just to confirm.
Okay.
But figure, I don't know if I'll be able to be here by 10, between 10:15 and 10:30. But I'll call you Friday. When's too early to call? Like, can I call you like around, say, like 9:30?
You can come around 8 or 9 o'clock.
Okay. I'll call you Friday morning. I'll let you know exactly what time. And do it like that.
Alright, thank you, George.
All right, Elizabeth.
Alright, have a nice day. Alright, you too. Bye-bye.